Hey guys, welcome back to day number 5 of the Podiatry Practice Blueprint. Today we're going to talk about doing webinars. Okay, so everything that we've talked about in these previous days, the patient presentation, then making the patient videos, the next logical transition, this is for me anyway, was to go into webinars. So basically the backstory behind this is I was seeing patients, I was doing these presentations every day, and I wanted a way, basically the reason I did it is I have a friend of mine, one of my colleagues, he's my partner, Neil, and he is really good at explaining plantar fasciitis. He is like an orthotic king, and I had a lot to learn with him. And we had a couple of younger doctors, and they had a lot to learn as well. And if you talk to anyone that's a really good explainer of things to patients, they can't really know what they do. They don't really understand what they do. That's what I mean. And so I would ask him, so, well, Neil, how do you do so many more orthotics than I do? He said, I don't know. Or he said, I kind of explained this analogy and things like that. What happens in the treatment room is really the magic for us as podiatrists. And I was kind of thinking to myself, what in the world? How can I learn how he does stuff? And then I was thinking, well, what would work really well, not only to learn how he does stuff, but also to make good content for our office, was doing a webinar. And that's where the idea came up. So basically, we picked kind of basically, if you look at your website, you're probably going to have some main categories that you want to see, like plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis, things like that. And so I picked those categories, and I picked one, which was plantar fasciitis. And I said, hey guys, between the 4 of us in our office, I said, let's divide up the topic. And so basically I did a Google slide, and then I put in different sections. I say, so Dr. Feldman's going to talk about this, Dr. Kellner's going to talk about this, Dr. Savitz's going to talk about this, and I'll talk about this. And I was kind of like the MC. So basically what we did for these webinars is we put a Google slide, and I kind of made it all look pretty. And I didn't send this one out to Fiverr like I talked to you about before. I just kind of got it done. And actually what I'll do is I'll put a copy of one of the slide decks underneath here. You can see one of our webinar slide decks on plantar fasciitis, okay? And we use that, and basically I sent out an invitation via Calendly. So I'll put a link to Calendly underneath here. Calendly is how we invite people, and they register for this. And so then they can get reminders so they don't forget. And we sent this out to all of our patients. Our patient list is about 16,000. So we have quite a few on our list. And then we sent it a couple of times before, and they signed up via Calendly. And so usually we have, like, I don't know, 50 people sign up. And then those that actually show up is about 50%. So about 25 will show up. So usually that's the number. And so we do those every couple of months. Now, the cool thing is, though, let me tell you this, after we do the webinar, we record the webinar on Zoom, because we do it on Zoom, and we record it. Then we can use that in a couple of ways. We put it up on our YouTube. We put it on our website. So I'll put a link to the website where you can see that plantar fasciitis, how it links there. And then we can also put it into something called Patient Education Genius, so I can send out a copy to patients if I need to. So it's kind of multi-use. But going back to the initial story, what really happened is then I can hear how my colleague, who's really good at explaining things, explains like plantar fasciitis to patients and explains about the use of orthotics, how orthotics are used and things like that. So you can get a little bit of that magic. So my challenge for you this week would be to look at this and make up your own webinar and offer a webinar to your patients. I think the key is like offering it before it's done. Okay, you're going to have patients that are going to go there. Webinars are mostly for the way we use them is for our current patients. I know other people talk about bringing it and using it as an advertisement to get new patients in the office. You could do that as well. But we use it more for our own patients. Then we use it for those resources. And another cool tip is when you put it in YouTube, you can cut it up into little pieces. So once again, if you guys have found this beneficial, if you haven't invited anyone for your free bonus, put their email below. I'll send them an invite, and I'll send you your free bonus. And certainly put your comments down here, guys. If you think this is a great idea, what other things you'd like to learn, what wasn't too clear in this course. I know it's kind of quick. That's what we're doing today. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about using those same presentations and putting them into a book. Okay, so kind of some cool hacks on writing your own book, pretty easy. Okay, thanks, guys.